How's it going, my YouTube people? This is Big George Koukouris. I'm here today to talk about the home buying process. Okay, so there's tons of videos out there about why this realtor is great, or why you should buy a home, or why this. And sometimes buyers, I always notice they start like the fourth step. They start by just like going out there. So I've never seen a video out there to just actually explain to buyers, what the heck the process is. What's the logical progression of steps to take to put yourself in a successful position? That's what today's YouTube video is all about. Okay, I have a flyer that I hand out all to my buyers, and I'm like, I really need to make a video of this, so this way the public, the general public, could just actually understand what that process is, what it looks like, and so therefore they're not taking steps backwards or doing the wrong things. So that's what this video is all about, to help you, the public, understand how, a successful buying process and what it looks like. So, because first and foremost, as you're making the decision, you're like, I definitely want to move. Like, this is the logical thing for me to do. Tired of renting, or I'm going to stay here long term. I want to buy a home, I want to be a homeowner. Whatever your reason is, it's actually very individualized why each person buys a home. Okay, so making that decision is number one. The second step is select your realtor. Okay, I suggest you interview realtors, make sure that the realtor is competent, knows what they're talking about, understands not just the market, but what your needs are. That's really what's important, what your needs are, and go through and determine and help you determine, because that's what your realtor does. We're like Yoda, okay? We guide. We're not the hero, you're the hero. Okay, ultimately, I don't pick your house, you pick your house. Okay, you describe to me what that house is. I find the houses that fit that description, and then you pick. That's kind of how that works. Okay, that's always how that works. People are under the impression of, well, I found my house. Well, yeah, you were supposed to. So let's get that understood. So you select a realtor who's knowledgeable, who's going to guide you, who you're comfortable with, because you're about to spend the next 3 months with them, about 45 days, after you get under contract. So it could take about a month. So that's why I say about 90 days. Okay, so you better like them, or it's going to be a rough road. And if not, I suggest you interview people until you do find someone that you're going to like. Just that simple. Then you want to, your realtor should have some sort of consultation with you. I know I can just tell you my process. My process is I always have an initial consultation with people. It takes about 10 minutes. First 5 minutes, they learn about me, learn all about me, what makes me different than traditional realtors, and how I massively benefit them. And then the next 5 minutes, I ask them a series of questions to find out whether it's truly right for them to move or just stay put. And now, again, that's not something you're normally going to hear from probably most realtors, but there are some situations where you really shouldn't do anything. And I like to make sure that we go over all the things and do what's good for you. Okay. Next thing is get your mortgage pre-approval. Notice I didn't say pre-qualification. Serious people really need to get a pre-approval. It's just a few extra steps in getting documentation to the lender so they can say, you know what, this person's ready to go with the mortgage. We just need the house, an appraisal, and then title work, and we're in there, we're buying. Because that's a much stronger offer position to be in when you make an offer on a home, when you have that pre-approval versus the pre-qualification. That makes that seller feel warm and fuzzy, that this person can actually buy my house. I'm not going to waste my time for a couple weeks, take it off the market, and then can't follow through. That's the whole thing. We want to be able to follow through with everything that we're doing, and that's why there's so many steps in this, just to make sure that everything's just right. The next point would be to select the properties of interest. Again, that comes into where I give my people a wants versus needs. It's about, I think, 10 pages. They go through it, put what they'd like to have and what they absolutely have to have, and then we sit down together and iron out, school zones, price points, price plus, what you have to have. So for example, if you want, to have a house, a 4-bedroom, 3-bath house with a pool, and you want to be in a specific school zone of ABC school zone, and you want to make sure your kids go to that school. So, but what happens is price is a little bit higher than you'd like. You really can't afford that 4-bedroom, 3-bath house with a pool, okay? You could afford a 3-bedroom, 3-bath home, but that pool is what's pushing you over. But what's more important? The school, okay? So we're gonna focus on how do we get you into what you need, which is a 4-bedroom, 3-bath home in the school ground, and maybe if I have a community pool, maybe you build a pool later on. But again, it's what has to happen versus what you'd like to happen. So we help you through that as well. Okay, and then what we do is we go by and make sure you like the areas, which people usually have done already. They go, oh, this is the area I've wanted to live in, and then we review the properties and that are the options. Hopefully we're down to about 3 or 4 of them, and then we make an offer on one. We pick one and make an offer on one, and so I'll sit down with you and go over the comparative analysis on what the values are and what a good range for a home in that specific condition is, and advise on what might be the best offer price. So then we make the offer, and of course your realtor should be having like all the specific disclosures. So, it's hard to get very specific. Like number one that should always be there though, this one I can't say, is the appraisal addendum. You should see if that realtor uses an appraisal addendum. I use one on every single one. What that appraisal addendum does, that if that home for any reason does not appraise, at that price, that purchase price, then we can go back into a negotiation state. Without that, you could be liable to be buying a home that is not appraising. So you have to be very careful. So your realtor should do a CMA, comparative market analysis. Again, go over the disclosures with you properly. If people have questions about disclosures, just private message me and I can go into more details about that, because every situation is kind of specific. Let's see, as a write the purchase offer, the realtor, you write the purchase offer, and then we negotiate terms with the seller. That's what your realtor does. That's one of the big key points of our job, is we negotiate. We're paid to negotiate, and we should be very good at it. So when you're interviewing your realtor, see if they've done any educating on negotiating, since that's pretty much their main job, because that's very important. So after we've gotten what we call a fully executed contract, which means the seller signed, the buyer signed, we came to an agreement, so it's fully executed contract. So now we have our usually 7 to 15 days, depending on what you were able to negotiate, for your home inspection. That'll be the next thing, to set up the home inspection. Home inspections usually cost, wipe off my brow here, you should make me sweat. Usually costs right around $450. Some are $4, some are $5. That's all fine. Some people are like, wow, do I really need one? Yes, you really need one. And I would rather spend $500 to learn that there are so many issues with the house that I don't want to buy it, than spend $200,000 to find out the same thing and be stuck with it. So yes, it's very important. This is not the time to penny pinch when you're buying the largest thing you'll ever purchase in your life. Okay, penny pinch, we do that when we grocery shop. We use coupons, but not when we purchase a home. Okay, we have the proper inspections to make sure that the home is safe, is in good repair, there are no issues. On inspections, we do not skimp. So that is, I heed that to all buyers. You would be very happy to spend $500 and not know that's what you shouldn't buy that property instead of spending $200,000. So please keep that in mind. So, then after that period, which your realtor should be taking care of the home inspection, report back to you, this is what we found. We can, maybe there's a couple simple things as we take care of that. Again, we can go back to the negotiating table with that if need be, if they're bigger than smaller things. And then, we're gonna go to the next phase, which by the way, during this point, you're still working with your mortgage person. So your job is to work on your mortgage end, and your realtor's job is to get these inspections and make sure that talk with your mortgage broker as well. The realtor will talk with the mortgage broker as well to make sure that they're there for the appraisal, that they're there for the home inspection, any type of pest inspection or septic inspection or whatever inspection that needs to happen on that specific property. And so that's a lot of behind the scenes that you don't see your realtor doing. And then also, while with the contract signing, your realtor will be going over the timelines of these things, for you as well. And then after we've, removed any contingencies from the contract, meaning, okay, we've gotten through the inspections, they're all good. We've done the appraisal, the appraisals come back, that's also now good. So that means your lender says, okay, you have the home is worth what it was supposed to be worth. We're able to lend you money because now this home is worth what it's supposed to be worth. And so that's usually the next part. And then this is where meanwhile, the title company at the same time has ordered the survey, worked with your realtor to order the survey. They've done the title search. And, you've also obtained your homeowner's insurance because your realtor at this point has said, okay, here's some, if you don't have a home insurance company, we need to start working on your home insurance as well. Now that we've seen that the property's in good repair, it's worth what it's supposed to. The survey will happen and the title search actually started the day that your contract started. And they start doing their work because it takes them about 2 weeks. So after the survey comes back, the title search comes back clean, and the homeowner's insurance is also, you've obtained that. Now that's the final requirements for the lender, okay, in the underwriting process. So now they should be able to fund the loan, which means that we're gonna now move to the closing, okay? So then we're gonna go to the closing. That's where you sign about 300 documents. I'm just kidding. It's usually not 300. It's usually about 80, right around there. It feels like you're signing your life away because you have to sign every single piece of paper. But that's also the most exciting part is, when you're signing for everything and then you get the keys at the end. But right before that, you're going to do a final walkthrough. Okay, the final walkthrough, we want to make sure that the house is as it's supposed to be, and any final things that need to be done were done, and that the house, someone didn't break in and put holes in anything, so God forbid, hopefully none of that happened. So you did the final walkthrough. We attend what we call the settlement, which is your closing, and then you move in your house, which that's probably the part nobody actually enjoys is the moving part, although some people think, feel it's very exciting and do the moving part. I've moved several times in my life, so sometimes I just wish I could sort of just leave the old stuff there and just go buy new stuff. So, but that is kind of what that process looks like. Okay, if you have any questions about that process, by all means, contact me. I'm here to answer questions for you. That process is going to look pretty much for the state of Florida, that's exactly how that process looks like. If you're in another state and it's an attorney state, well, the process is a little bit different, okay? Because now you have this attorney involved. I don't work in an attorney state, so I'm not overly familiar with it. But if you contact me, I can put you in touch with somebody who is in your state and who does work, and understand the process if it is an attorney state with your state's, particularly, and I can put you in touch with the right people. I do have contacts globally, so if you have any questions, and I don't even care where you're from, by all means contact me. My whole goal is to make sure that you understand things no matter where you're at, and then you're in touch with the right people. Okay, again, this is Big George Koukouris. I'm always here for you. If you ever have any questions at all, you just let me know. It's just that simple. Okay, I hope you folks have a great day. Thank you very much for listening. Please subscribe to my channel. And again, any questions, just put them in the comments below. I'll be happy to answer them. Have a great day.